Welcome back to the Superhero Battle Room. You already know the name of the show. You already know what we go over and do. Military, veterans, first responders, transformation, all that jazz. We're going to bring Otis McGregor to the stage today because that's what we do in the Superhero Battle Room. He's a military man, has served his country, and is now serving our community by empowering leadership through tribe and purpose. So we're going to hear what he goes over and does and a little back of his backstory. So we're going to bring him on. Otis, do I have you?
Yes, you do. Great to be here, and thanks for having me.
Awesome. Let's just go jump right in. And the military, either many moments or many moons ago, why did you go over and join our great force?
It was many moons ago. I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and I grew up in the shadow of Carswell Air Force Base, which was a strategic air command Air Force base. And watching the B-52s take off multiple times a day to go bomb and end the world as we know it and bomb the Soviet Union out of existence was the thing that pulled me into the military. I saw that and I was like, wow, that is so cool. How do I do something cool like that?
That's really cool. I got inspired by a girl and now I'm married to another. So that's what happened with me.
It was a bait and switch on you, wasn't it, man?
It was. I traded, it will be between 24 plus years. When I retire, I'll be 25 years this October. So we'll see where the Lord has next. But yeah, 24 years. And it was literally because of a girl, but I'm glad I found the other one because this is my wife, which has way more valid than just some girl that I knew in high school. So definitely worthwhile. So how long did you go over and stay in, and when did you leave?
Yeah, I spent 25 years in. I was enlisted. While I was in college, I was in the National Guard, and then I got commissioned, and so 25 total years. Majority of it, the last 18 years or so was as a Green Beret. So I retired in 2009. It's been a couple of moons since then too.
That is the very interesting thing. It's like at least for my retirement journey right now, it's going like by very slow. But I know everybody talks about the after part just goes over and just pummels through real fast. I'm kind of hopeful for that. I'm like, I don't want to just age and die, but I want to be able to have the time go by a little faster. So
I'll share with you how that perspective happens because I have a good buddy of mine. He retired, God, 6-7 years before me, maybe even a couple of years more than that. And I always remember making fun of him when he crossed the 10 years retired threshold. And I was like, dude, man, you're so old. And now I look at it and I'm like, holy crap, I'm 15 years retired now. And I was making fun of him at 10.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny in that regard. So it's been a while for your transformation, but how will you make your transition's over? But we'll just say, how did you make
I'm always transitioning, dude.
Yeah.
That is something that we're always adjusting. The military tells you what to do, where to go. Yeah, the infamous wish list. And when you get out, the transition never ends. It's part of who you are, and constantly adjusting because that's 25 years. That's quite half my life, sort of thing that I spent in the military. It's who I am. So I'm in a constant state of transition from that. And because you go back, right? You hang out with a couple of vets and next thing you know, it's like you're back in the team room. So transition is continuous. And how do you do it is you got to know where you want to go. That's the hard part. Because like I said, 25 years of, getting orders and, making your choices, but generally speaking, you're filling the needs of the military, needs of the Army for me. And when you get out, you're the one that decides everything. You're the one that decides you want to go work for that company or do that kind of a job or stay in that job or stay in the house. I'll share with you, this house that Miss Suzanne and I are in. We thought for sure that at the 3-year mark, we'd be itching to move and get out and change houses and move someplace. And you know what? We've now been in this house for 15 years. And, no, they ain't going to do that. They ain't going to get out of the house. Don't have that. Never had that time to PCS itch. So it's a matter of finding what you want, knowing what you want, because if you don't know what you want, you'll always get it. But if you know what you want, you can work to get it.
So with a sub question before I get into our next main questions with that, it's like, how do you find that purpose in tribe? And I know I'm kind of branching off your brand, but I think it's so ties is that I think the hardest thing I could say for me in this retirement journey, I've been in it about 140 days in. I'm like, I made the decision 18 October next year for 18 October this year. Kind of on the fence where God's going over and leading. I'm giving it back to him. How do you go over and get that tribe and purpose, especially when you're getting out? And then if you even make a bigger decision to say you move, and now that tribe and purpose, those people that you had the last duty station with, you went somewhere else. So how did you go find that? Because I think a lot of us struggle with the purpose and identity when we get out.
Well, purpose is when you have clarity in your purpose. I'll explain the tribe part first. When you have clarity in your purpose and you live in pursuit of your purpose, people are attracted to it. People who are interested, their purpose aligns, your values and their values align. People move towards you. You attract those people. You not just do they move towards you, but you see them, right? Because now you understand what you're looking for. You know what it is. How do I fulfill my purpose? What are the actions I need to do? Who are the people I need to talk to? That's how you start to build your tribe. Now, your purpose and discovering your purpose, because your purpose, I'll define it first. Your purpose can never be achieved. Your purpose is fulfilled. Your purpose is that cup that is never empty and never overflows. You keep pouring more into it. It's the fuel that gets you up in the morning to go do whatever, to go do PT, to go for a run, to make that phone call, to do that paperwork, the things that you know that you really don't like doing. But purpose is that thing that gets you through those things, because you know that by doing something that you don't want to do, don't care to do, that sucks, that you are moving towards your purpose. That's why it's a fuel that never runs out when you have clarity in it. Now, getting that clarity, that takes some work, takes some thought process. I like to, one of the exercises that I help guys go through is taking your passions and understanding your passions and defining your passions. You break your passions. So passion is something like a hobby, right? Like, years ago, I used to be into rock climbing. Now, and hunting and all these sort of things. Well, what are the components and parts of that passion? And when you look at your passions, your multiple passions, and the way I have them do it, my clients do it, is you get a sheet of paper and you write the name of that passion at the top, and then what are the key components of it? Those 3, 5, 6 things. And then we put all those passions into a table and we find the trend line in it. Because guess what connects each of those passions? No matter how different it may seem, like I love to cook and work on a car. I love to work, do woodworking and mow my lawn. Okay, great. Well, what are those parts and pieces? Define them. You define them. And you'll see, because you are the interconnectivity, you'll see a trend line through all your passions. And what that trend line shows you it's your guide to discovering your purpose. It doesn't say this is my purpose, but it's your guide to discovering your purpose. One other thing about purpose, your purpose is not a true purpose unless it's serving others. You have to have other people that you serve in your fulfilling of your purpose, because being happy is not a purpose. But ending world hunger, I don't know. Well, my purpose is to create a legacy of great leaders, because that's going to impact the world. I know that will impact the world. So that's what purpose does. You are serving others with it.
I think that's totally, totally true in that. And we're all doom scrollers. I don't care what our age is. Some of us do it less or doing more. And I want to tie this to what you were just talking about. Purpose is we get focused. And there was this new one that went over and said, like, hey, someone learning a language or something. And they said, hey, if you're motivated compared to dedication, dedication will outwin motivation. But I believe, which from your definitions, I don't think dedication or motivation will actually win. It's knowing your purpose, because knowing your purpose will keep you dedicated to the cause of doing it, but it also will empower your motivation, because no matter if you're extrinsically motivated or intrinsically motivated, that purpose is going to help deeper. So would you say that motivation and dedication are components of also having that purpose?
No. If you have just motivation or just dedication, or even both of them, what are you motivated for? What are you dedicated to? You have to have purpose first. Now, when you could say that those two things enable you to fulfill your purpose, and I think they come naturally when you have that understanding. When you have that clarity in your purpose, you're not thinking about, well, I need to get motivated today. No. I know what my purpose is. I don't have to be motivated, because my purpose is my motivation. My purpose is my fuel. That's the thing that gets me going. And if I have clarity in it, then I'm dedicated to it, because I know this is what I do. I know this is why I do it. That's the power of having clarity in your purpose. I mean, our purpose has been clear to us now for me and Tribe and Purpose as we've grown 7 years, right? We've known this is what we do, because this is how we're going to make the world better, by creating great leaders. We have that kind of clarity. We know that those phone calls, the content posting, and all these sort of things, doing payroll, taxes, all that sort of stuff that none of us want to do, we do it because we know that will lead to us being enabled to fulfill our purpose.
I think that's huge, because so it sounds like, again, the trends of the world are trying to sell us on the short ends of the stick in that particular regard. So we really need to understand our purpose, and then everything else can flow out of that. And I want to tie that into the next question in this is, you can have purpose, which can flow into motivation, which can flow into dedication of things. But what about when pressure and tough times comes? What is your secret fuel? Is purpose your secret fuel, or is there something even deeper within inside that?
No, I mean, purpose is it. That's, it's, I got to get through the suck to fulfill it. Now, how I do it and the other things around that, that's important. Those are techniques. But again, it rests in the clarity of my purpose, because it's clear in my mind. It was given to me. It was God said, this is what you will do. And that's why we do it. We continue to pursue it. It's not there's no wavering. There's no, days suck, but I know why I'm doing it. I have a bigger understanding. Yeah, I think it was Simon Sinek was the guy that said, if your why is strong enough, you can do anything. And that's what purpose is. Your purpose is your why, and if you have that clarity in your purpose, no obstacle is too big.
I like that. It's kind of like the major thing that can go over and basically take us through all the storms of life. But let's pretend you only had somebody for like maybe 90 seconds, 120 seconds, because we could unpack purpose for days and hours. I'm even seeing your books behind you that kind of tie within that background. I like that. I like that nice drop in the background. So, but
Makes me look smart, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah. And I'm also giving you credit to your books at the same time. But what if, let's say they don't have time to read your book? Let's say they run into you at the military influencer conference or maybe on a summit or anything else, or they're going up the escalator and you might never run into them again. What would be 3 superhero tactics would you give that person so they can go over and drive as hard as you do so they can actually keep that fire and not just fizzle out like a lot of us do?
Number one, you have to know what right looks like. That'd be one. Know what right looks like for you, because you're the judge of that, not anybody else. Establish and maintain your own routines, because that's your system, your way of doing it. And belief in a higher power, God, Allah, the universe, because the people that don't, they're usually angry and sad. So those are the 3 things that I would say is know what right looks like, establish your personal routine, and believe in a higher power. And when you do those things, it rests and believe in yourself, and the strength that you have and the strength that you've been given.
I think that's a great way to go close out this show. So thank you, Otis, for going over and joining us, dropping the wisdom and everything else. They can be checking out your link. I'm going to give you the floor one more time if you want to talk about the website below or more about Tribe and Purpose and how people get connected, and then we'll close out the show. But thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Go to our YouTube channel. That's the same as the URL, the website you're seeing flowing down, 10X Your Team. Go search that and subscribe, because you'll get our podcast, which we have unbelievable entrepreneur guests on. You'll get our monthly live masterclass. You'll get our free leadership training nuggets that we share. And then my favorite, you'll get some philosophy, my whiskey words, which involve me outside somewhere, sometimes with a fire, with a glass of whiskey and a cigar, and giving you some deeper thoughts on life. So that's number one. We call that our DIY. That's the do-it-yourself methodology. We also have a leadership development program that is our Done With You, which is the Green Beret Leadership Program, to help you build leaders and grow as leaders within your team and within your company. And then our third piece is the Done For You, and that's our fractional COO. Our fractional COO comes in, establishes the systems, processes, and culture for your small business to enable you to grow that next level of success, freeing up the time for that CEO founder to get out and sell and not worry about the day-to-day operations to grow the business.